Henry McClure Live. This will be a series of real-time videos and actually track the progress of turning this into something. One thing that's frustrating, especially in the mall business for real estate guys, is when you walk the mall and somebody's got, hey, you know what we really need is this. Well, yeah. Now let's go back to my office and sit you down and let you open this up. Ray Bewley of the Macerich Company was a leasing guy out of Lakewood, and a lady called, and she was a psychic. And she goes, well, what's the rent? He goes, well, you're the psychic, you tell me. Little funny, little humor. But so, nestled in here between the jail and the mental health place, I think this is a perfect place to start off with Carrie Higgins and her project to do the one-stop shop for all the services that we, all the social services. And if I could get a lease from the city to do that, that could be the like the anchor tenant and the cornerstone of this project. So what I want to do here is a housing project and use the RHID, and what I want to do is emphasize the fact how this works. So you get a certain amount of tax today, real estate tax, and I'm gonna have to, but we could also qualify for TIF, and I don't know how we could qualify for CID, but we'll dig into that. But if we do nothing, that's what you got. If we collectively get behind a project here, we can do something different. And what I want to try to do, here, I'm getting out of the wind. What I want to try to do is prove to the community, and it's first the city manager and city council, that we don't need Jeff White sticking his beak into this of Columbia Capital and have a but-for test. Because it's an unnecessary fee, and as long as we comply with state law, the city shouldn't have a say in, and Jeff White shouldn't put a cap rate on it and determine what the return on the investment is, because really at the end of the day, if you're following state law, it's none of his business. And if anybody wants to steal this project, well, great. I'm going to help you with the groundwork for stealing it. That'd be great, because then if somebody turns this into something, but what I'm saying is the taxpayers shouldn't be up front obligated for a nickel of this idea. It's just like the AT&T building. I'm so against that project. But for the citizens to waive some of the future tax, well, you should start feeling comfortable with that for this project. If I've got a lease from the city, I can go borrow against that lease for the one-stop shop, and it will help me get to my financing. And then what kind of housing project this thing turns into, we'll see what the market can bear. But I want to get this project done today. I want to start it today. RHID, TIF, CID. Let's take advantage of projects that are already approved by the state but I want the community to understand about time, talent, and treasure. You know, these things just, and we shouldn't be at city council at the last 4 minutes trying to like run the project down. And Spencer Duncan said that he would bring up that we would allow public comment in the committees because I think you could really cut down the length of the city council meetings by having the public comment come out in committee. I mean, look, either we're going to engage the people and let people have a say, or Topeka's never going to change and I'm not going to worry about it anymore. As your mayor, I want things to change. I want to change policies to make it easier for developers. I want to make sure that it doesn't matter what your last name is, projects get done. I mean, if you really, and we're going to be making this same video out at California Crossing. You know, 2 years to get a Pizza Hut permit. And I asked for some help from Go Topeka to put in a sewer line. They didn't help me because it didn't create jobs. You know, I really think there's probably a lawsuit. I was talking to a guy that wants to be a whistleblower, and he said, Henry, I don't want to sue the city of Topeka. This is my town. Well, I feel the same way. Oh, wait till this lawsuit stuff comes out on the airport. Well, let me try to keep on topic here. Part of it is all topic because dealing with the government is the issue. And in this case, I just want to have to comply with state law for TIF, CID, and this RHID. I do think this might also be a good place for a food pantry. Let's see who's watching. Hello, Scott. Nice to see you guys today. Hey, MD, I know you're watching. So I will start a blog for this. I'd actually just like to keep the blog going. In my MCRE blog is getting 2,000, 3,000 views every week. One of the first challenges is going to be coming up with a price for this. The owners, one of the owners is a real estate agent, and she says that, well, she's got some deals working. She's got some deals working on it. And I want her to call me the day she doesn't have a date to the prom. If you can understand that analogy. Did you see that movie, What About Mary? Well, I'll put that down as a definite maybe. But the acquisition of this property is going to be the challenge from the get-go. And even if I could make a cooperative deal that the existing owners had the benefit of this project, well, I'm fine with that too. All right, so the two projects you're going to have to live with me on as public projects is going to be this and California Crossing. I think the real challenge out in California Crossing will be, is there really a market for, the project? Now, the city manager, Dr. Robert, was kind enough to point me in a direction of a project down in District 4 in Dallas, which I'm going to look up. And I'm going to have my buddy Mark Klein, whether he knows it or not, go down and look at it. We'll get Mark Klein to do a Mark Klein Live. Mark Klein still works for Macerich. He's from Topeka. I lived here, Dana Kay lived here, and he lived there. Well, it's a beautiful day. I thought we were going to have some rain later. So this will be a series of Henry McClure Lives that goes through this process from soup to nuts. And maybe one of the first things you ought to use Grok 3 for. What does it mean when he says soup to nuts? But nestled in here between the mental health facility, and I tried like hell to get Brian Cole to do this deal, but these guys are so much smarter than me when you can spend the government money. You know, Kenny Blair walked through this and looked at the concrete over at Cook Flat. He knows what he's doing. But utilizing an existing asset like this for the mental health facility, that was not a bad idea. Everybody wants to be in control. Everybody wants to be the boss. And I'm not talking about myself today. I'm actually not. I just want to make deals. Henry McClure Live. Community service as far as I'm concerned today. But I love y'all.